This presentation will be on examining how semantic relatedness contributes to the McGurk effect. So first, we're going to talk about some background information and previous studies that have been conducted on the phenomenon. The McGurk effect was actually discovered accidentally by two researchers, Harry McGurk and John MacDonald, while studying infant language perception. When inputting a different auditory phoneme in their experimental trials, McGurk and MacDonald reported identifying a different word that was not used as either the auditory or visual stimuli. This intriguing phenomenon led to the discovery of the McGurk effect. Based on this incident, the McGurk effect can be described as a multisensory speech perception illusion where two distinctive words presented simultaneously in the auditory and visual channels produce an entirely new word due to the fusion of the previously exposed words. So for example, if the word bait is presented in the audio channel and the word gate is presented in the visual channel, the McGurk fusion word would be date. Moving on, early integration theories by Limmerman and Mattingly suggested that once speech integration occurs, it would be impossible to access the independent constituents of the assimilation or fusion between the auditory and visual systems. This means that the brain is unable to reach out to only one of the systems, especially the auditory network, when deciphering speech. Years later, in 2016, a study by Ostrand, Bonstein, Ferreira, and Morgan suggested that the auditory system can be accessed since the participants displayed a much faster reaction time when presented with words related to the auditory stimulus compared to the visual and McGurk stimuli. These findings contrast with the theory made by Limmerman and Mattingly in 1985. However, since speech perception is believed to be an integrated multimodal system, a replication study was conducted. The findings from this study indicated that the meaning of a word is not only based on the auditory component, but rather the fusion of the visual and auditory stimuli. Past researchers have conducted numerous studies on the McGurk effect. However, our study will incorporate another variable, which is semantic priming, in order to determine if previous exposure to certain speech stimuli influences the perception of subsequent stimuli. Now, moving on to the method section. Okay. Before moving on to the specific aspects of the study, I will first define what semantic priming is. Semantic priming is basically the process that occurs where the meaning of an exposed word influences how quickly another word related in meaning is perceived. Using semantic priming as the main variable of our study, we will conduct a between subjects experiment where participants will be assigned to one of 6 different lists of non-McGurk words. First, participants will be presented with a prime word, which is essentially a word that would equip their brains to think about certain aspects of the word. Following, participants will then be presented a word from one of the following categories: target words, unassociated words, or noun words. So for example, if your prime word is bait, an example of a target word would be worm, and an associated word would be fence, and a noun word would be bloop. Then, participants will then decide whether the second word shown is a word or noun word by pressing one of the 2 indicated keys. The reaction times of the participants will be recorded and analyzed in order to consolidate the study. Next is the results section. Since we are still in the process of collecting data and don't have any to present, our hypothesized results suggest that since speech is believed to be based on a multimodal integration system, it is hypothesized that the participants' reaction times in classifying target words would be significantly faster than those for unassociated or noun words. Finally, the conclusion. If our hypothesized results are supported, this would inform us that there are multiple brain regions and sensory networks used during speech perception, which is understandable since we rely on both visual cues, such as lip movements, and auditory cues, such as sound vibrations, in order to decipher language. In addition, since this experiment is part of a larger ongoing study on the McGurk effect, we can study how the brain deals with conflict when the visual and auditory inputs do not match with each other. When studying this effect, numerous research components arise, which suggests the possibility that studying multiple brain domains may be the key to fully understanding speech perception as a multisensory network. In conclusion, if successful, the implications of the study can be used to develop hearing aids for individuals with language or hearing disabilities. And here's a list of references. Thank you for watching.